Hello everyone, welcome back. Tonight my plan is to go through and do a bunch more work on the material Let's start that one over and try it again. Tonight my plan is to work on the material design and XAML project again. Going back, I'd like to get that brushes PR that I was doing with the big rename in and done. I'd like to give it a chance to simmer in the preview packages for a little bit before kicking the release, because it's one of the few things that's holding up the 4.3.0 release. So figured I would get that done, especially with all the talk of the Material Design 3 stuff last time. This is going to be a prereq for all of that, so getting it in and done hopefully clears up that. So what are we talking? This guy here. So we have this pull request sitting open. It's got some theme brushes. It's cool. It's awesome. We all love it. I love it. And I've been going through and getting most of the brushes updated, and it's not too terribly difficult to do. It's just a little slow going, but we're very close. We're very close. So if we look at what we were doing last time, quick deviation before we dive into this. Quick deviation, because I have an idea. It's a dangerous thought. So I just made a new repo. Called Noseplug, because sometimes you have to write tests on code that smells. So the intent of this library is to give you a way to effectively, when your code stinks, plug your nose and test it anyway. What's most interesting is the tests here, and only 2 of the tests are actually running. But the important part here is that it's something that effectively allows you, for people who have used mocking libraries or have watched the videos I've done on various unit testing techniques and mocks and that kind of thing. Usually what comes up is things like statics. They're a pain. You can't mock them, because most mocking libraries rely under the hood on a common library called Castle Dynamic Proxy, which is great. It can generate effectively overrides for things at runtime, which is awesome. So you need a class that automatically implements an interface? Perfect. It can handle that. But because it relies on that mechanism, it's limited in what it can do. So no statics, no sealed classes, that kind of thing. Effectively, if you couldn't write the code yourself to override it, it can't do it either. This is not that. This is straight up abusive. So you'll note in this case, it is hijacking the datetime today property to replace it with April 20th, 1987. No, not my real birthday. And then it asserts that after the using statement exits, the datetime goes back to being a real day. And then similar here for something like a task.run, being able to hijack that and having all of that work. And this is just me playing around with some different syntax. So might end up working on this on stream, trying to play around with an idea to see if it... these tests pass, by the way. So that's kind of cool. If you're curious how it actually works under the hood, there is a library called Harmony. Where is... I don't actually have it. There we go. This one. So this library here is actually what is enabling this to work, in case you were wondering. So this is a patching, replacing, and decorating methods during runtime. So it works by what feels like black magic, but it manipulates the method pointer in the method table of the runtime. So you can do some pretty awesome and horrendously abusive stuff. So I got wind of this and decided to start playing around with it, and because initially I was writing the jump stuff myself, and like, I need this feature and that feature, and it's like, oh, somebody's already built that into a library. Let's just use that. So trying to figure out what this syntax needs to look like here, but overall, quite happy with it. So we're gonna play with that. Okay. Enough of nose pluggy stuff. And my fonts are tiny, I apologize. Okay, so let's look at where we left off. So last time the time picker brushes were the last ones that we did. So let's continue on that path and see if we can get this in. The other thing that this adds is better design time support for when you use the IntelliSense to populate your brush names, which is great. Makes me happy. Okay, so time picker is where we left off. Toggle button. And then we start here and we go with dynamic resource. And we just hunt everything. Actually, here, let's do that. Boom. We hunt everything that is not material design dot. Dun 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 dun. This I don't think is supposed to be. Yeah, this should not be a dynamic resource. This should be a static one. So that's the other beauty of this, of doing this work, is I found a lot of things that were dynamic that really shouldn't be. So dynamic resource is something you only want to use for things that may change at runtime. It adds a little bit of extra overhead. Whereas a static resource is just that. It's static. It references it, it drops it in, you're done. But it's also a lot more performant. So only use dynamic resource if it is something that may change at runtime. Okay, so toggle button done. So we'll just do this. Toggle button. I've just been doing a commit each time just so that I can use that to keep track of my stuff. Makes it easy for when I need to pick up. Okay, so this one looks like we're going to need to create some stuff. So right out the gate. So let's see here. So there's this new new theming namespace that I'm introducing. I've typically put most things at the root namespace. However, this is something that I think makes more sense nested. Having things at the root is nice for discoverability. Not so great for organization and growth. So let's see where we go here. So this is toggle button. So this big set theme method that's already marked as obsolete, this is effectively the mapping between the old theming class and the new theming class. So effectively the thing that's at the root namespace and the thing that's not. And I'm fully aware that obsolete members can cause breaking changes for people. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If that is you, I'm going to be working. That's why I wanted to sit on a preview package for a little bit to see how much the fallout is. Okay. So let's go with toggle button, and we're gonna need to create some stuff, it looks like, because that's not even there yet. Down here, public toggle button brushes. Boom. Down here. Now I'm also fully aware that this isn't going to this is not going to fully address all of the theming brush problems. So there may still be issues where people want more control over some brush or something that hasn't been added yet. That's okay. I'm just trying to get the current stuff brought over. Few additions in areas where I know that it's needed, but for the most part, trying to keep it simple. There may end up needing to be tweaks to this further down the road, but I'm trying to lay the groundwork. Trying to lay the groundwork for it. Okay, we're gonna close you down. So what is this? Toolbar vertical overflow background. I think this should be. I'm trying to decide what that needs to be here. Toolbar means hard. Because I don't want this, because this is a toggle button. No, what am I thinking? Hold on, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. This is the toolbar one. I'm in toolbar. Why am I, okay. We're gonna leave this because this makes a lot of sense to me, but this needs to change. So this becomes material design toolbar background. Material design brush toolbar background. Boom. Okay. Gotta pay attention to what I'm doing. Let's see. Well, let me get my keystrokes turned on. So there we go. Now they're showing up. Okay, so this guy here goes there. Okay, so this is using the divider for what? What is this exactly? So this is on the thumb. There is a border. So this is the actual toolbar thumb style. Where does this get used? Is this like a scroll bar, or is this the thumb that you drag the... No, this is the thumb that you drag the toolbar items with. Okay, this is just hard to read. This is just hard to read. Too long a line. Too long a line. Okay, better. Better. Okay, back to where we were. Boom. Should we make a new one? I think, because this is largely dry and brush tile. Let's see, move to 0, 0, line to 0, 2. So let's see, start at 0, 0, line to 0, 2, line to 2, 2, line to 2, 0, and then Z back to Z. So this is a box. Wow, it concerns me that I was able to parse that in my head. It's not a skill I wish to have. So this is just that geometry drawing. I want to fire this up and look at it real quick. I don't know what the right name for this is. Because I don't really want to nest it. Because I'm going to need to add something here. I just don't... Why is my immediate window out in the middle of nowhere? Come back. Okay, so you... toolbar. And this is the other problem that we might have. Shadow depth 1. Didn't I just change one of these? Where is my... Let's fire this up because I've clearly broken something. And I'm thinking I'm just missing a reference. Which is fine. Which is fine. We will fix it. We will fix it. Let's see. Copy. It's most likely in here. It's not. let's hunt it everywhere. So I'm gonna go with the one that we just changed. It's not able to find it. Are those not appropriately referenced? Well, we should probably fix that. Let's see. Let's see. Dictionary, merge dictionaries. I'm tempted to do this at the top, but we're going to try and keep it a little more tight. Especially if this is the only guy using it. Oh, come on. You just navigate to it. It's the one called Shadows, or Shadow, or something like that. It's an S. Yeah, that one. That would be really great is if I could just go. Womp. So that is not even close to what we want. Let's see if we can just grab a different one and tweak it. Defaults is the easiest one to grab from because that's all it does. That. Yeah. Rinse, repeat, try again. I am worried that I'm going to be missing a lot of bugs and errors and all kinds of stuff, so that'll be fun. So this guy in particular, oh, and I don't have Sumit running, hold on. So this guy in particular that we're doing is, oh boy, those itty bitty little boxes right there. What do I call these? Toolbar thumb foreground? Thumb foreground? It feels like thumb foreground is probably the closest thing I'm going to come up with. Maybe. Right. Let's go with thumb foreground. Let's bring that in. Toolbar, public, color. So something I would be curious to get people's feedback on. So material design does not have gradients as part of it. Now, with that said, I tried to make this library default into the material design recommendations. However, I don't like making it preclude you from doing your own thing. If you want to go and mix a weird, say, orange and fuchsia gradient, go for it. Don't recommend it, probably will look ugly, go for it. However, the way I'm doing this theming is going to kind of preclude that because I'm not doing brush, I'm doing color. I think that's okay. But I'd be curious if that's going to break anything anybody's doing. I don't think it likely will because this is all new stuff and you couldn't do this stuff anyway, so But let's see here. This is going to be item, it's actually here. Thumb foreground gets old theme, and this was previously divider. Divider, come down here, toolbar, CV, drop that, background. At some point I'm going to do something fancier with all of these. Maybe code gen them. I'm going to do something. We need something. I don't know what, but we need something. Okay, something like that. Okay, so we're going to go there. Come back here. Boom. Okay. A lot of thinking there for something that didn't need to be so complicated. Toolbar. I don't know why this one isn't changed automatically. I already have this one, don't I? Yeah. Just like that. Okay, I gotta fix some white space stuff. I try not to mix too many of these changes together, but this is bothering me. I need to be able to see where these things are. For reference, if people would like to go through and do XAML formatting, I'm also aware of, XAML styler. I would love to get some more consistent stuff put in place. I just frankly have not had the time, but I actually do enjoy building out some of those DevOps-y type experiences. I actually spend quite a bit of time thinking about and trying to build dev tools. That's actually one of the things I enjoy most. Like, I like building tools and libraries. I really enjoy that. It's in my mind, it's a little bit harder than a lot of app development. Like app development, the hard stuff usually comes in, how do I get this one thing, or how do I get this UI to work just right? How do I get it performant? Library development, you usually have to try to think about a broader spectrum of things. Okay, what are all the possibilities of how I'm going to be invoked? If I'm cross-platform, what does that mean, right? Whereas if I'm writing a WPF app, you can make a couple assumptions. You're on with it. That's a given. Okay. So what do we got here? So this is a submenu border. We're inside the toolbar. This is the pop-up on the very right-hand side of the toolbar. If you shrink your toolbar down, where it moves the overflow buttons into. Excuse me. I feel like I want to call this like overflow border, or yeah, overflow border. That seems fine. Public color overflow border. Does that make sense? Is that clear enough that it's... We'll go with it. Back to the top, do it again. As you can see, there's just a couple things. Just a couple things. Let's see. And then this is going to be overflow border, and it was previously coming in from the divider again. Do the other one, overflow background. Let's do overflow background at the same time since we're already in here. Overflow background. Overflow background. That one was previously coming from toolbar background. Okay, come down here, see toolbar, background, border, yeah, lower. background, overflow border. Let's see here. So that goes there. Nope, 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 nope. That bad. That's bad. Don't do that. Okay. Background border, background border. Okay. Just get weird when I do stuff fast because that's when you make mistakes. Okay, so background goes like that. Border goes like that. Booyah. Okay, and we keep the hunt. Let's see, what is this? This is the background on what? It's interesting. Why would we be changing the background in a trigger based on orientation? The background should be set once at the root. I don't understand why orientation would change the background. We're going to delete that. Okay. Separator style. I think we do a new one for this. Just gonna keep adding. Oh, this should really. I've been trying to alphabetize these. Not a big deal, but let's see. Separator. So this is what I'm was talking about with a bit of a judgment call. Is technically this brush is going to be used in two places. Someone somewhere could make an argument that I want these colors to be different, and I'm not exposing that here, and I don't think I care right now. Not where I want to go. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we will do separator, and this came from divider. A lot of these came from divider. Okay. Let's see, toolbar. Toolbar. There and there. Next, foreground set, flat button ripple. Yuck. It's definitely one we should change. Flat button ripple. Let's go up to the button. Brushes, because that's where those would have come from. I think what we're rather doing flat ripple, I think we're just going to go with ripple because I don't think we're going to run into a case. The toolbar shouldn't have multiple, right? Pretty sure it doesn't. QRS. Actually did a PR yesterday. The PR consisted only of comments. I just wrote comments. I thought it would be an easy PR. A colleague who is very good at code reviews had several comments on my only comment PR. It was good feedback, but I had to laugh a little bit. I'm like, wow, what should have been the easiest change of all time? No. But it also gave me a lot of confidence that it was actually getting read. So flat button ripple is what I want to come from. That is one thing that I'm always surprised at is people always seem to worry about being too, what you call it, aggressive or mean in a code review. In my mind, the aggressiveness it comes from the tone of your comments, not from like the quantity of comments. So, as it's more about how you word the critique than anything else. So, and I always tell the colleagues on my team, if something doesn't make sense, ask, because that is your opportunity to ask the author what the heck were they were thinking. So if you can't tell from just looking at it, imagine if you were asked to maintain that code in a week. I usually joke that future Kevin might not understand what current Kevin was thinking. So it's good to hash that out, because it's often hard for me to understand what, or I should say future Kevin has a lot of trouble understanding what I was thinking. So let's goes there, and then this comes up here, we get a ripple, everyone's happy. Flat button click. Now here's the interesting part, I don't think we have a flat button click. What did we do on button? Oh, we did do a click. But this is only really being triggered on over. Did I do a hover? I did do a hover. I think I might stick with the word hover. This is, and do I do, yeah, I think I do hover background, because that lines up with the name that we used elsewhere. So we go here, let's see, color, and then we come down, hover background, this old theme, that was flat button click. Let's see here. Background. And cover background. So one of the fun things, so if you didn't notice, I'm using Windows key V when I pop this window here to get my multi-clipboard. Just something just built into Windows now, which is great. The first time you do it, you'll get a little prompt asking if you want to enable it, because there is a security consideration about keeping items on your clipboard. But when you do Windows key V and paste an item in, what that actually does is the item that you pick from the list actually gets placed on your clipboard, because your clipboard still only holds one thing. Admittedly, one thing, potentially multiple formats, but regardless, one thing. It puts that one thing back on the clipboard. That then lets you just go Control V multiple times over and just dump it in. So, quick tricks. I actually had a colleague the other day blow my mind. We use Microsoft Teams a lot, and one of the things that frustrates me is the right-click menu for paste doesn't have like paste without formatting. Control-Shift-V works everywhere, paste without formatting. Didn't even know that existed. So happy. So happy. Okay, so let's come up here. Toolbar, brushes. Push, and then we're probably gonna, if we get through all of this, background, toolbar tray. I think we just reuse the same brush for this. I don't don't see why I would do something different for the tray versus the toolbar. Yeah. Actually, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go like this. Stage, amend previous commit. I didn't miss anything. Push, force push, force push. See? Didn't miss it. It was in there the whole time. Okay, so this is less concerning, but we're going to format this up a little nicer. Dynamic resource, tooltip background. And I think I might break this one out a little differently too. So let's do tooltip brushes. Let's drag you over, close you, close you. So we really just have two here, right? Foreground and background. Yeah, so we're gonna go with foreground and background. Oh, I already got a background one. But I'm not using it here. Interesting. The question why I built it. Okay. See, this is a perfect example. Current Kevin has no idea what past Kevin was thinking. Past Kevin was clearly an idiot, but oh well. See? Okay, tooltip. So I'm gonna have to look at where that's actually being used. Okay, so the foreground that was coming in here is coming in from material design brush background. I actually want to go look at what this is on the master branch, because this is making me think I made a mistake somewhere. I am not looking forward to reviewing this PR. It's going to be big, it's going to be ugly. Oh, so that one got changed in a blind find and replace. Got it. So this was initially just a paper one. Got it. Okay, so that's fine. So foreground comes from paper. Foreground comes from paper. Background comes from tooltip background. Oh, that's probably because I quoted the existing ones that I saw. I never used it anywhere, but I quoted it. Why did I put F above B? Okay. It goes like that. Goes like that. That's what I did. Mix. Okay, I figured out what past me was thinking. Past me was thinking he wanted to go fast, which I can understand. Okay, we're gonna change out these two brushes here. Boom. Okay. So all the ones there. Check that in. Tooltip brushes. Boom. Boom. Okay. Tree view. Again, these are the ones where it's like the foreground's being set here. Should there be a specific tree view brush for that? I don't know. Don't know. It might be, and that's one of those areas where if somebody wants it and would like to go at it, hey, just notice something. Where's my white space? There we go. If somebody would like to go and at it, I'm hoping to leave this in a situation where it's easily apparent for people to do so. That is a very weird X name on there. Put the work in. Okay. Is this used anywhere? clean up that name. That makes me feel better. Okay, dynamic resource hunting. Boom. Oh, that's it. Okay, so we'll check that in. Stage. Review brushes. Okay, validation error. Should be a couple in here. But some of these may have already been replaced because I think I hit this one early. Yeah. Okay, that is all of the brushes. Done! No, not done. Not done. Not done. Okay, because there are... We're going to start with this. We're going to just click through every page on the demo app and make sure nothing's broken. Or at least give it a first pass. The other thing is I know that my builds are failing. So there's that. So, check. Oh, that's, oh. Okay, so let's take a peek here. So obviously home works. Buttons. Just kind of scanning to make sure things roughly look how I remember them looking. So that looks good. Cards. Roughly look how I would expect. Chips. Looks like how I would expect. Color tool. I'd love to find a better way to do this separation here so these things don't get so far apart. I almost want to do these things up here rather than down on the bottom. What is this for? Oh, that's right. Some nice person added in the... Hang on. That alignment looks a little weird to me, but we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, that looks fine. Combo boxes. That's really it. Good. Okay, that seems fine. Data grids. That looks fine. Dialogues. That's fine. That seems not fine. So, what I am wondering, for example, this one here, dialogue theme. See, this has dialogue theme inherit. So that ain't right. And I'm going to just take a quick peek. This sounds like some brushes either resolve. So I don't know if the brush is just failing to resolve or resolving wrong. Let's hunt it down. Ooh, got it. Got it on the first try. Okay, so for those people who aren't familiar with it, Snoop, wonderful tool, 100% recommend it. One of the best things for all WPF development. The magical incantation when you get it, once you get Snoop open, you'll have something like this. What you want to do is grab these little crosshairs that are next to the binoculars, drag them on top of the window that you want to snoop. And you should see the name of the window pop up there. And it'll tell you, the process and the PID and all that jazz. Okay. You open this up, this is your visual tree. So similar to what you would get in like the Visual Studio Live Visual Tree. The Visual Studio tools have one big advantage in that they can have buttons that link you back to your source code lines, which is pretty cool. Snoop doesn't have any concept of your source code. It's interacting with the running application. It's more interested with what is, not where it came from. But then the magical thing to do is the Control and Shift keys. If you hold them down, it will attempt to move the focus of the window or the visual tree to the element under your cursor. This does a whole bunch of hit testing and whatnot to try to figure it out. But the key part is you'll note, in this case here, this isn't actually part of the main window, so the initial visual tree that I saw, it wouldn't be in there if I went looking for it. Where it is inside of a pop-up. So by using the Control Shift, I can jump into a different window of the same process, even if that's a lightweight window like a pop-up. In this case, it gets me down to the text block. This little box up here lets me search. I'm interested in foreground. So this is using Material Design Brush Foreground, which is set to white, which seems pretty much wrong. So it's not the brush failing to resolve and it getting like no brush. It is, the thing is legitimately resolving and the dialog host is okay. So let's go fix dialog host first, I guess. So dialog host, that guy. So what I am most interested in is this dialog theme property, because the dialog theme was set to inherit. And so the theme assist should be going all the way into the pop-up. And so let's look at this guy here. So what this guy does is it goes hunting in the pop-up, grabs the appropriate theme, and brings it in. So what would it have done? So this guy, when we look at, so this little button here shows me the XAML for this guy, and we can see that this guy had dialog theme inherit. Just check. The dialog content is set here, but there's nothing in here that indicates anything other than there's no theming stuff in here. So check to make sure there's nothing out here that would affect it. Okay, so that means it should have gotten into here, and I would like to look at the resource dictionary of this guy. Words dictionaries. Pop-up root shows 0. It's a little interesting. I don't know. Let's grab the dialog host here. So it's worth noting there's a subtle difference between the pop-up control itself, which serves mostly as like an anchor, and then the lightweight window that goes along with it. This is the one. So this is, wait, name part pop-up. So this guy should have been the one that he landed on. Let's look what the theme sys theme is. This theme is still set to inherit. So on inherit, what would that do? So this would come in here. And new theme. Get resource dictionary source for new theme. Oh, and that's why it wouldn't have done anything. I'm wondering if this was broken previously. Let's push this real quick. I want to switch over to the master branch. I want to check this there because I have a suspicion that this is broken there too. Which I'm surprised. I'll be surprised if it's in the published release because I'm using this on a couple projects and I haven't noticed it. And I make a lot of use of dialogues, and I thought I was inheriting the theme. But I'm now trying to think of the ones that do that and trying to think if that's really true or not. that. It is broken on the main one. Okay, we're gonna log a bug for this, and then we're gonna go back to testing our other stuff. Let's see, issues. How has this not been reported? Artifacts. Assign this to me and pull it in the milestone, because I think this is actually the fix here is probably the fix for the bug too. So we're gonna leave that there. Okay, back to the branch, and let's continue testing. I might be allergic to code. That would be horrible. That would be absolutely horrible. All the things I don't want to become allergic to. Coding is definitely one of them. Okay, so let's go back to the dialogues and see if we see anything else along those lines. Yeah, so the foreground color is wrong. Yeah, so that is clearly broken. Specifically on dark theme. Okay, and we are probably going to write some tests over that. Okay, so let's go here. Drawer. Seems fine. That's mostly around interaction. Expander. Let's see, that should be fine. Should be fine. That should be fine. Great. Fields. Good, looks good. Interesting, that gets clipped. Huh. Think about that. Why is this thing so narrow? The width is set to 20, okay? Okay. Fields line up. This is not right. Combo box is wrong. Interesting, we'll have to look at that. Let's see, transparent background, shadow on the header, coloring on all those look fine, icon pack, not really brushes being used there, lists, seems fine without, checkbox, great, 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 great. Okay, then using toolbars, we've kind of already looked at. Oh, hey. Oh, I got it. Ding, ding. Yeah, something is up with the combo box. Again, I think I'm going to test that on the main branch. Continue checking. This gets clipped. I kind of want to make these bigger so that's not getting clipped there. And this style is actually going to get some additions for the Material Design 3 stuff. Palette. Nothing really fancy there. Pickers. That took a long bloody time to load. Finding errors. clock style unset. Interesting. Time picker clock style. Let's go look at that one. Interior design clock. Exists. Do not reference clock. Don't. Let's try that. That'll probably result in far fewer errors. Wrong window, so pickers again. So we'll clean up the binding errors. So that's a good sign. That's fine. This guy's nice flat. Ultimate colors work. Time picker works. Validates. Seconds. Great. Great. Let me pull these things out of the expander. I don't mind this being long and big. Pickers, progress indicators, pretty self-explanatory. Rating bar. Looks good. Foreground looks good. Shadows. It's actually probably easier to see in light scene. This appears broken. Why would you not be... Okay, I'm gonna just start making a list. Let's see. Okay, VS Code, come here, I don't know what's on my clipboard. Oh, this is just my copy and stuff. This is just my tuna waffle project. See previous videos. It's coming along nicely. Okay, foreground color in dialogues. Let's go here. Shadow in what are these? Shadows on cards in shadows view. Okay. It's odd that that would break. Let's see. Whoa. I know why my machine is so slow. Something has decided to fill my hard drive. So performance problems occur when you have 0 bytes free. That's not good. Cancel. What is going on? Sorry, we're going to just check and see what. Something is using a lot of disk, and I don't know what it is. Okay, so that's part of my performance problems, is I have no disk space on C-Colon. So that's exciting. That looks fine. That looks fine. Okay. keep going. Okay, seems fine. Material design linear progress bar inside of toggles. Let's just hunt that guy down. Let's see. So, could be the radio button one. Let's see, where else did it find it? Oh, see, okay, we're gonna make this worse. We're gonna make the problem worse before we make better. Let's see, these are static resource. I can type. Okay, so there's that. This means here you need to make sure you've got a reference to progress bar, which you do. So it's not you. It's obviously not progress bar. It's not default, so it must be the radio button one that's fighting. That doesn't have it. Bar. Is that what it was? Here, I'm gonna just copy this one. Boom. Okay, let's try again. Sort of hoping all of these changes start to tease out any of these types of problems. Okay. So, browsing game of guess which monitor. Okay, so toggles. Okay, you now load. That's great. What do you expect? Colors look like they're loading their theme colors appropriately. It's better. Okay. Okay, seems fine. Transitions. It's less about colors and more about stuff. Let's see here. Pretty cool. This is just showing off the show selection false. Hides that, which is nice. It's cool. That's pretty cool. And typography. It's good to me. Okay, so I think we've now fixed. Oh, actually, I want to go back and check the buttons one. I want to check the buttons page again because that's where I changed those static resources. Still loads up just fine. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, so cleaning up demo app so all pages load. Okay, so we'll clean that up. We're gonna push this really quick. I'm most interested in taking a look at those styles. Let's start there. Let's start with the styles. Or the shadows, sorry. So let's pick on these guys. So I'm gonna flip this to light theme since the shadows are easiest to see there. So what's bothering me is this guy here has a shadow depth set on this button. This guy also has a shadow depth set, but this one does not look like this one. So something is wrong, and I don't know what it is. So the attached property here, this shadow assist, ends up setting an effect, but it's not there. So let's go over to the card. XAML. Oh, okay. Oh, that's not it. You are not helping. Our card's not underneath the. Yeah, it's right there. Oh, I probably had an S on it. Okay, so here's the control template. So this guy here, so inside of it should be this border, and it should have an effect set on it. So let's come over here. There's a border. The border surrounds the clip border. Should line up with what we see here, clip border. This guy should have an effect on it. Great. Let's look, let's dive into this. And then in terms of this drop shadow effect, number 4, go and look at shadows. Shadows. 4 should have a blur radius of 25. I'll just trust that if we see blur radius 25, the rest of the properties probably match. So if we go here and search blur radius 25. Okay, so it is in fact getting the appropriate amount of blur. So that means it's probably being clipped. So is there any margin on this? No. So let's put some margin around it and see if that makes it show up. No. Not here. This is the other wonderful thing about Snoop. You can just go ahead and change the property. Look at that. Let's see. 0, 10, 0, 0. So basically, the card that this is getting applied to doesn't have any space for its border. Or it doesn't have any space for this guy, so it has nowhere to show. Okay, so that makes sense. Okay, and so this is all just inside of the adorner decorator, so that this can show up. Okay. Okay, so that makes sense, and I think the problem being is I can't fix it. I can't. The right way to go around about it. There's no default content clip, is there? No, I don't think so. But this grid is only here because I need to have this for the shadows. I basically need a container control because I need something with 2 parents. So where does the margin property get applied? Let's go back. Rather than going with the margin, we'll go, we need that border again. Tear that back down. I think I've broken something, so we're going to relaunch. I'm wondering if I just apply some padding to it. Because I'm thinking what I will do is I will apply some padding in the demo app. Oh, here. Let's go cards. Up, let's see. Text number, depth 4. Depth 4. Line or okay. Wrap panel at the top. There's the buttons. Cards 2, image button. Oh, this is the cards one. I want to look at the shadows. That one. There we are. So there's the button with the depth. That's fine. Where is the card with the depth? Card depth 1, 2, 3, 4. This thing already has some padding. Quite a bit of padding. Oh, that's interesting. Does padding... Let's see, padding must go here. So if I change that, shrinks it up, obviously. How about alignment? So I can get it all the way on the screen. Let's see, vertical alignment center. Vertical alignment center. So even though there's space around the control, offset. It's like it's being clipped by default. Oh, look at that. The content clipping applied to the card. Where's that coming from? Is that being applied in the code behind the control? Oh, look at that. This looks familiar. This looks like something I wrote. Let's look at the history on this. Card.cs. Let's see. Let's control P. Card.cs. Let's see. I did mobile. Refactoring. Content clip was already there. File view, content clip, content clip.
change the local stuff, and then I'm already back here. I mean, this looks big and scary, except for this is just a reorganization of what was already there, which is not scary at all. So it must be must have changed in the theme code. So new theme brushes. Aha! See? So I broke it with this one because the clip was moved from here when padding is set on a card. This is interesting. 2454. Let's go take a look at that. What was the bug we were fixing? Oh, hey, stop it. 2454. When padding was being set, because the padding wrapped, yeah, so that was clearly not what happened. So, what is the appropriate way to fix this without breaking both? Because there should be a way to do this. Because what's happening when you set padding on the card itself, that's being applied to the control. That padding is being applied outside of this grid, which is ultimately what's causing the problem. So, just to be clear, if we put this back, just to be 100% confident, right, so we'll revert the change that I did. If I revert that, because the issue is if you have padding that pushes your content in, if you push, yeah, if it pushes, yeah, so there you see the shadow. So, why is that a problem? Why does that cause it to clip, though? Because the margin property is being set on that content presenter. Now that we understand what's going on,
let's go into here and let's slap on, because this was using what, a toggle? Oh, I'm holding down the D key about 430 times. Transient animation should never be equipped. So, in principle, I agree with this. Practically, this is not possible. Well, yeah, practically it's not reasonable to do, because that would require having some knowledge about the adorner layer. So the way you fix this in WPF is you've got your visual tree, which is your regular layer of controls. Sitting above that is the adorner layer. You can think of this similar to how like Windows works, where you've got your normal windows that you can, you know, layer on top of each other, but then you've got topmost windows, you know, like Task Manager is typically set as topmost. And so it doesn't matter the order of your windows, Task Manager always sits on top, which is great. That's effectively the layering that you get in WPF. To make sure something's never clipped would require it to always render it the adorner layer. The problem is there's not just one adorner layer. The adorner layers are layered. And so inside of the library, there's not a clean way of handling that, because when you drop in an adorner decorator, you are specifying an adorner layer. So to keep them from being clipped, you would have to have only one top level adorner layer, which isn't really possible. Okay, so with that said, how do we fix this? I mean, that gets it working. Height. Let's just go 600, 800. There, so we can see it there. And then I imagine if I put the clip there, and Visual Studio catches up, which I'm wondering if it just, somebody is trying to cache into C:, and that's no bueno for me. I might have to go and address that problem pretty quick, because not having disk is going to quickly become a problem for me, and I'm going to have to figure out what all is chewing up my disk. The other thing I'm interested in is knowing the state of my PR. Oh, we can merge this. So this is just new icons. This will also cause a nightly release to go out the door. Great, ship it. This still failed to build. What is failing here? Build. What is so bad about this? Oh, because I have warnings as errors turned on. Oh, 0618. I need to ignore those errors. Like bundled things XAML.cs. So let's go there. Pull. Let's go and fix this so that this thing can build. Assuming Visual Studio even wants to launch for me anymore. This may be a deal breaker pretty quick. We'll find out. Launching. For the most part, Visual Studio 2022 is actually fairly good. I imagine the running in a computer where you have no hard drive space is probably not a well-tested scenario. Let's see here. So, okay, so we're in the failure case. Great. blanked what I was trying to do. Okay, backup think. Too many things in flight. Oh yeah, pragma warnings. Pragma warnings. We are going to address those first because we will deal with the problem we know how to solve and then come back to the one that we don't. Before we get too carried away, throw those changes away. We know what the problem is. And actually, I should be able to, if I just rebuild. I should be able to just check my output window and chase the warnings. Sorry. I am going to run a disk cleanup and see how much space I can just get back from that. Okay, so there is my list. There. Okay, and I believe what I would like to do, suppress and source. And I think what I'd like to do is just suppress this completely across the file. So we're going to do that. Let's see. What is this? This is all so what is the manager? I was gonna say let's convert some of this. Let's see, I want that. The manager dot get theme. Var hides it. Modifications become theme. Alright, let's just make you not a var. I would like it to give me a there. Theme manager doesn't have a so we want to use the static to get it. So we want to go theme manager. Boom. We want to do that. Just gonna go bang. And then manager set theme. Grab that, bring it up here. Let's see, so we don't have that. We just want to get the theme to know if it is dark theme. Yeah, which is what we want. Great. Okay, on application. Might go here because we're inside the application. We can then do the resource dictionary app. Oh, this is the wrong theme manager. I don't want the... Turn you off. I don't want that one. I want you to prompt me. And I would like to use that one. Let's see. And then you are ambiguous, so we will clarify what I mean. Don't need you. Before I was just doing this to register up for the theme change. Oh, and that doesn't exist yet. Yuck. I really want to do this, right? So let's go and look. Why did I not build that out? Do all of the work. We do all of the things. Oh, there's a to-do on theme change. Let's do I think we can probably keep no we can't. This has the old stuff. This is close to what I want. This is close to what I want. So I want a public event. Problem is I don't want this guy. I want something similar to him. So where's the link change? Event arcs. Delete. Actually, I'm not gonna flag something for this one. Per se, there's enough obsolete flags in here. The theming one down here. We want this to be a theme. We want you to be a theme. Be a theme. Home. Move out to your own file, please. There, that handles that. Let's see. I'm on the change. Oh, that's not the equivalent. We could do. Problem. I'll try those. Changed. Boom. Okay, so this should be this. And then new theme changed event args. Resource dictionary there. I need an old theme. So how do I get that? Okay, so I need to know what the theme was previously. Blah, 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 blah.
No, it was rereading out the old dictionary before applying it. Okay, I guess we'll do that. Don't really like it. I think there's probably a more efficient way we can get away with it, but old theme is get theme resource dictionary. Boom. There's the old one. Parse it out. Boom. Is that guaranteed to not be null? Really? Okay, guaranteed non-null. Oh, because the theme itself will be non-null, but the values may not be. Okay. Cool. Good enough. Good enough. Okay, that fixes that. That fixes that. Theme manager, theme changed. Boom, boom, boom. Ambiguous. Alias. The nested one. Should be enough. Okay. Keep chasing the errors, the warnings. Okay, so back to the top. Boom, boom, boom. Resource dictionary extensions. Obsolete. Let's see, use. Let's go get the right stuff. Yeah, this is going to propagate out in a massive way. Manager, set theme instead. I'll take care of those two. Instead. This guy here. That off. That or that. Okay. Where are we at? Custom color theme. This is in the resource dictionary. So we should change these things up. Use the new stuff. That is internal. Okay. When do I have this again? Oh, references. Marker interface. Got it. Okay. Generally should be avoided, but usually rather than marker interfaces, you want attributes instead. Not a big deal though. Okay, so this guy here. Let's see. Delete. Instead. know, but I think Theme Manager should handle it for me. Okay, so this one here creates a theme, the base stuff everyone calls in. So this is not what we would like to do. We would like to do the equivalent of this. On my new theme class. Not a great create path. If I were to put this in here, probably fine. Set primary is an equivalent of set base. There apparently is not. There is. It's clocking at that. Doesn't want a I-based theme. Wants a base theme. Because this would be differing by type. I think what we can do though is we can do this. If I do I-based, that should give nobody heartburn, right? That makes it a little happier. And then what we do is we come up here. This. This is the enum, and this calls get base theme. Oh, that's down here. So I can't call it from outside. Got it. Well, but let's look at where this needs to be invoked from. Oh. That goes like that, that goes like that. That handles that. It's all converted over. Okay. we're just defaulting that. The only time it'll ever be null is if you do this outside of the WPF application. Okay, so get theme. Var. Like this. Ugly, 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 ugly. This ain't gonna fly. You clean that up. So there's some changing in primary colors. I'm just gonna clean some of this up because a lot of these things can be fixed by doing that. These guys are problematic. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Working on fixing warnings. Delete. Pressing some twos. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that there for now because it is getting late and I've got an early start in the morning. So, but I will leave it with a compiler. So, with any luck, get a little bit further along, and we are one step closer to having this done. I am worried that this is gonna break all kinds of things. And I do apologize to everyone up front, especially those people who have warnings as errors turned on. I don't know a good way to address that. It's going to be a minor version rev, and there's going to be a lot of stuff flagged obsolete. Just be aware, 5.0 release, I'm planning on deleting all of these obsolete elements, so just be aware a lot of this stuff is going to go away. For people who don't like the warnings, they will be temporary. Don't worry, with 5.0 release, they will turn from warnings to compile errors. So, that's all. But as you saw, most of the stuff, I'm trying to go through, I think we exercised most of the APIs throughout the demo app. So hopefully it should get a lot of that squared away, and then deal with some of those bugs we identified tonight. But with that, I will tell everyone happy coding. Thanks for coming along. See y'all next week.